Hello and a warm welcome to Mlc Tv News Hour. I am Fatima Yakub. The headlines: Buhari orders security agencies to be merciless with highway criminals. CUSTECH, OSARA matriculates pioneer students. OBASANJO says 14 million out-of-school children are ready tools for Boko Haram. And 52 people reported dead in Russian worst mining disaster in decades. Now, the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has again directed security agencies to urgently address the resurgence of kidnapping and other crimes on the Abuja-Kaduna Highway and on the other roads across the country. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Arabissola, said the President gave the directive while presiding over the meeting of the National Security Council held at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Arabissola, who addressed State House correspondents at the end of the meeting, said the police and other security agencies had been mobilized to intensify surveillance and patrols in pursuing of the criminals. He said President Buhari particularly ordered the armed forces and other security agencies and intelligence organizations not to rest on their oars. Arabissola quoted the president as saying that they are not yet where they should be. Nigerians deserve to live in peace, and until they achieve that, they will not rest. The minister assured that Nigerians would soon witness serious security improvement as specific orders had been given to all security agencies to tackle security challenges across the country. Less than a year since its establishment, Confluence University of Science and Technology, OSARA, has matriculated its pioneer students, numbering 246. This was a university conceived and actualized by Governor Yahaya Bello's administration. CUSTECH, the second state-owned university after the Prince Abubakar Audu University, Ainba, established about 2 decades ago. Governor Bello envisioned strategically to build the technological and scientific to increase human resources of the state to provide the manpower needed to be engaged in any science and technology organization in the world, and especially when Ajaokuta Steel will be revived.
At the matriculation ceremony held Thursday, 25th November 2021 at the campus of the institution in OSARA at Davi local government area of Kogi State, Governor Yahaya Bello, obviously elated with the pace of development in the university, described it as a dream come true. He revealed that the idea of the university was inspired by the need to end the travails of Kogi citizens' unsuccessful search for admission into sciences, technology, and medical programs in universities across the country.
Our gratitude goes to the Almighty God for sparing our lives and granting us the opportunity to witness this formal induction of the pioneer students set of Confluence University of Science and Technology, Christian CUSTECH, OSARA, Kogi State, into the university. Today's matriculation ceremony is indeed a watershed in the history of educational development of Kogi State. My administration was greatly disturbed by the painful experiences of hundreds of young Kogi youngsters who were unable to pursue careers in science and technology due to very limited openings in universities outside Kogi State. I thank God that our very beautiful, young, talented girl alluded to that. She has missed admissions several times. We found that even with impressive scores in the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Exams, otherwise UTME, cutthroat competition for limited spaces, and unfavorable catchment consideration usually put our children at a great disadvantage. Over the years, access to such programs as medicine and surgery, pharmacy, architect, engineering, and others in this category kept dwindling for Kogi secondary school leavers. This trend became so worrisome that we just had to act as a government to bring to the only logical end. Problems make me combative for solutions.
According to Governor Bello, leadership exists to find solutions to problems, noting that this has been the driving force of his administration's approach to the challenges and development need of the state, and declared that CUSTECH is one of the proofs of his commitment to solve problems in the state. The governor testified to the amazing success stories in the universities within a year of its establishment, assured of his readiness towards ensuring it achieves its founding visions and goals of raising generations of highly competitive professionals that will add meaningful values to humanity. While eulogizing the governing council, Professor Muhammad Audu and his team for helping develop the plan and vision of the university, as well as the pioneer management and staff for writing their names on the sand of time. Governor Bello charged the students to make maximum use of the opportunity to study at the Citadel of Learning. The Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Salaud Sadiku, said the establishment of CUSTECH represents a milestone in the present administration's resolve to widen the spectrum of opportunities for the young generations to meet the challenges of the future as well as achieving self-actualization.
Exist to find solutions to problems of those they lead, or they lose their moral authority to leadership. It was thus my duty and the duty of my administration to solve this particular problem too for Kogi State, using all the resources of government at our disposal. Accordingly, and in line with the administration's avowed commitment to providing a wide spectrum of educational opportunities for our younger generations, we decided to take action by establishing a specialized university of our own, dedicated to science and technology. Not only was this action imperative, but it was also very much in sync with best practices in educational progressivism all over the world. In the spirit of the foregoing considerations, we sent a bill to the Kogi State House of Assembly, and the university's establishment bill was passed in record time. I immediately gave it the required governor's assent, and this was how this university came to be, at least on paper, and in the third quarter of 2020. Thereafter, we threw in everything we had and secured recognition by the National Universities Commission, NUC, for CUSTECH in the fourth quarter of 2020. I intervened personally at every stage. Today, to the glory of God, the university is in the second semester of the first year of academic activities.
To the collection of tertiary institutions in Kogi State, the brainchild of His Excellency Alhaji Bello, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, CUSTECH came into being not for cosmetics. In fact, citizens of Kogi State who are familiar with the mode of admission into Nigerian universities are living witnesses to the frustration expressed by the teeming secondary school leavers of the state, yearning for opportunities to pursue careers in science and technology related specializations. Stories of Kogi indigenes scoring impressively high marks in UTME and yet finding it difficult to secure admission into medicine, engineering, pharmacy, architecture, and so on, and a host of other professional programs have become commonplace and increasingly traumatizing. The search for opportunities to assuage these annual nerve-wracking experiences, still relying on the existing facilities in the state and the country in general, had become a mere mirage. Creation of a specialized University of Science and Technology became a compelling necessity in our state if succor should be brought to our youths that are in dire need of the opportunities embedded in this type of institution. We had hitherto witnessed the demonstrable commitment the state administration had dispensed towards tertiary education in Kogi State. The establishment of CUSTECH represents the ultimate in the government's resolve to widen the spectrum of opportunities for the younger generation to meet the challenges of the future, achieve self-actualization, and maximally contribute their quota to national development and beyond.
In addition to 2 faculties and 11 programs in the sciences and information technology is already offers the university, Professor Sadiku disclosed is commencing engineering programs in the next academic session, saying this is extended to take full advantage of the technical environment CUSTECH is domiciled. He commended Governor Bello for building immortal legacies across the state, in which CUSTECH is one promising to ensure standard and quality in the institution. A cross-section of the students who spoke with journalists at the ceremony expressed gratitude to the state government for the establishment of the university.
I am from the Faculty of Computing and Informatics in the Department of Software Engineering. I am humbly standing here as a representative of all other students to give appreciation to our dear Governor and Father for deeming it fit to add this university to the list of tertiary institutions in the state, which has given us all the great opportunities to be the pioneer students of this great institution. Without any iota of doubt, we believe His Excellency ventured into this out of his penchant for education. Your Excellency, many of us seated here joyfully matriculating today have been severally denied admission in other higher institutions outside the shores of Kogi State. This was a cog in the wheel of us moving forward with our academic pursuits. Some of us were already giving up when CUSTECH came into existence through your executive efforts. Today, we have students from the eastern and western parts of Nigeria, and we cannot but celebrate your cosmopolitan nature that has brought us together. We also want to applaud the management and all staff members of CUSTECH for looking after us as they would their kids and siblings. We strongly believe we are in safe hands till we graduate in flying colors from CUSTECH. Lastly, we would like Alhaji Yahaya Bello and his team to know that we will not in any way disappoint them, but rather make them proud at all times. As a father that he is to us, we know he will always be there to make us his children happy at all times. We wish you all a safe journey back to your respective destinations.
To round up the event, Governor Bello performed the groundbreaking of the university's Senate building, library, faculties of basic medical and health sciences, engineering, computing, and informatics. Over 200 students were matriculated as pioneer undergraduates. Ife Imodu, reporting for MLC TV News.
The Nigerian Navy is partnering the National Inland Waterways and the Nigerian Export-Import Bank to commence the hydrographic survey and cutting of the lower rivers of Niger and Benue. At the flag-off of the survey in the Jakuta local government area of Kogi State, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, said the multiplier effects of the cutting and survey will improve the economic fortunes of Nigeria. One of the cardinal responsibilities of the Nigerian Navy as contained in the Armed Forces Act, Law of the Federation of Nigeria, is to make, chart, and coordinate all national hydrographic surveys. With this mandate, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, was at the flag-off of the charting of rivers Niger and Benue in Ajakuta and emphasized the importance of the exercise to Nigeria's economic potential.
So many fishing communities rely on these rivers for their livelihoods, while others use sail as a medium to transport goods and people from one part of the country to the other. Similarly, during the colonial era, these rivers served as major economic enablers that effectively supported the British administration. However, despite the huge economic potentials offered by rivers Niger and Benue, Nigeria is yet to put these rivers to maximum use, due mainly to lack of their systematic survey and charting. This has made it difficult for cabotage vessels to convey huge stockpile of solid minerals from the hinterland to the sea in support of Nigeria's economic growth and diversification. Furthermore, the inability of mariners to make maximum use of rivers Niger and Benue has also created a huge logistics gap. Not only the completion of the survey and charting of rivers Niger and Benue, together with other ongoing Nigerian Navy survey campaigns within Nigeria's offshore and littorals, are clear indications of the current whole-of-government approach towards building a national hydrographic capacity for Nigeria towards improving maritime security and safety, as well as the prosperity, economic development, and general welfare of Nigerians. On this note, I want to thank the federal government of Nigeria through the Ministry of Defense for developing the capacity of the Nigerian Navy to improve maritime safety and security in the nation's maritime domain, as well as enhance its national security and economic prosperity through improved capacity for effective national hydrographic service delivery. I also wish to assure the federal government and the good people of Nigeria that the Nigerian Navy is adequately poised to open up all navigable routes within Nigeria's maritime space for improved economic activities through carefully planned systematic surveys and charting programs that would be executed jointly with all relevant stakeholders. I also want to thank the management of Nigeria Export-Import Bank for facilitating this laudable project, which clearly demonstrates their passion and commitment to leverage the bank's mandate to bridge current funding gaps towards facilitating sustainable national development. We thank you greatly.
In terms of maritime operations, what then is the major importance of the survey?
I know that most of us here are familiar with what hydrography is. But for avoidance of doubt, hydrography, according to the International Hydrographic Organization, involves the measurement and description of the physical features of the oceans, the seas, coastal areas, lakes, and rivers, as well as with the prediction of their changes over time for the primary purpose of safety of navigation and in support of all other maritime activities, including economic development, security and defense, scientific research, and environmental protection.
The security advantage of the process was emphasized.
It is very important because the area of trade facilitation and why it suffers is at the point of moving the cargo from where it is in the vessel to the key apron, and then moving it from the key apron to the owner of the cargo. But if you are able to nip in that aspect of logistics, you would have no problems, because you will now create a streamlining. You would also make sure that you institute an electronic system that determines when the cargo ought to be discharged and when the cargo ought to be moved out. So nobody keeps his cargo at the key apron or at the stacking area waiting for someone else. Decisions will be taken 2 weeks before the vessel, the cargo even arrives. And at the level of discharge, the cargo will seamlessly move out of the premises.
Managing Director of the Nigerian Export-Import Bank, Abubakar Bello, and the Managing Director of the National Inland Waterways Authority, George Muhalu, made a list of some economic importance of the survey.
So the Sea Link will enhance economic diversification, which is in the forefront of President Muhammadu Buhari's government economic blueprint. Okay, and it will also enhance Nigeria's readiness for AFCFTA. Trade without logistics is almost non-existent because you can't move goods out of your immediate locality. So the Sea Link project will go a long way in ensuring that we're able to participate effectively in regional and global trade. And before I get to the final stage, I must mention that one other party that has been very instrumental to this project is Afrexim Bank. they became so interested in it that from the outset, they gave a grant of $350,000 for us to purchase the navigation equipment and other equipment that are needed for this survey. And to add to that, last week in Durban, we signed a $400 million memorandum of agreement with Afrexim Bank in support of the Sea-Link project, where for fleet management and fleet supply, port upgrades, and part of the navigational and, for instance, where dredging is needed, we can go into that facility. And so we have to thank Afrexim Bank for being part of this program, and it is our intention, together with other consortium partners and other agencies, to see this to a close. We want to, by the next quarter, or first quarter of 2022, to have the first sail from this jetty onto the high seas.
One of the major challenges of inland water transportation in Nigeria today is the paucity of funds to attend to the numerous inland waterway transportation demands, which are all competing for attention all at the same time. The intervention of Exim Bank and the Sea-Link project has helped the National Inland Waterways Authority accelerate the development of the inland water transportation sector. I also want to thank very sincerely the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambon, for the participation and cooperation with the Nigerian Navy Hydrographic Office to ensure the successful execution of this project. The National Inland Waterways Authority is looking forward to future cooperation with the Nigerian Navy to extend the mapping and charting to other inland waterways of the country that are presently unmapped. At this juncture, I'd like to affirm my personal and the National Inland Waterways commitment to the successful execution of this project and to attain the overall objective of the Sea-Link project. The National Inland Waterways Authority, under my watch, will grant any request within our resources that will guarantee the success and commercial viability of this project.
The Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello, was on ground at the flag-off. He wants the host communities to take advantage of the project.
Of joint hydrographic survey campaign of the lower rivers, Niger and Benue, undertaken by Nigeria Export-Import Bank PLC, in partnership with Nigerian Navy and National Inland Waterways Authorities. As we are all aware, the federal government of Nigeria have, under the Presidential Economic Diversification Initiative, introduced several policies and programs aimed at diversifying Nigeria's economy, as well as improving the welfare, security, and prosperity of Nigerian citizens. It is on the strength of this initiative that Nigeria Export-Import Bank has entered into partnership with the Nigerian Navy and National Inland Waterways Authority, as well as other relevant stakeholders, to bridge critical logistics infrastructure gaps to facilitate movement of bulk cargoes, raw materials from the hinterland through inland waters to the sea. The first step of these efforts is what we are witnessing today: the survey and charting of rivers Benue and Niger. These rivers have remained one of the most critical natural assets that hold good prospects for economic diversification in Nigeria. This is because at the end of this survey and charting project, various inland and river ports along the coast that have hitherto become moribund will be reactivated. This will provide well over 2 million well over 2 million direct and indirect jobs, increasing economic viability of these ports, and ultimately reduce pressure on our roads as bulk cargoes from the hinterland will be transported by sea rather than through the roads.
When completed, intercontinental trade will be greatly improved, with Nigeria's socio-economic and security fortunes to be greatly enhanced. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has expressed the need for Africa to industrialize and cease being a dumping site for industrial, commercial, and consumer products from other countries. Speaking at the year 2021 African Industrialization Day held in Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos, Sanwo-Olu said that industrialization of Africa will serve a dual purpose of socio-economic empowerment through the job creation and wealth generation opportunities for the people, while enhancing government revenue for provision of infrastructure and social services. The governor, who was represented by the secretary to the state government, Folashade Jaji, declared that the state was not unmindful of the potentials available for socio-economic growth and regeneration, especially with its status as the hub of socio-economic and industrial activities in Nigeria and the ECOWAS sub-region. His words, they are committed to enhancing their potential through partnership and collaboration with the private sector and other stakeholders, provision of incentives and implementation of policies that will encourage more entrepreneurs to jump on the industrialization train. He further noted that the creation of the African Continental Free Trade Area has the potential of being a veritable platform for the opening up of the industrial piece, with available opportunities to promote free trade among component states. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo predicted that out-of-school children might soon be recruited by Boko Haram if the government failed to return them to classrooms. Obasanjo stated this while addressing participants at the Presidential Youth Mentorship Retreat held at the Youth Development Center, Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, Abeokuta, Ogun State. The former president lamented the increase in the rate of out-of-school children, attributing security challenges to the lack of proper education. He said a situation today where they have 14 million children that should be in school that are not in school. Does anybody need to be an oracle to say that 10 years or 15 years from now, those will be where you will recruit pure Boko Haram? The former president maintained that the unity of Nigeria is paramount, stressing that he would fight for the unity of Nigeria throughout his life. The Kogi State House of Assembly has knocked down a bill for a law to make provisions for the collection of radio and television licensing rates in Kogi State and other matters connected therewith 2021. It was gathered that some critical stakeholders present at the bill public hearing held at the Kogi State House of Assembly complex rejected the bill as it was tagged as anti-people, undemocratic, and contradict the provision of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The controversial executive bill indicates that owner or users of devices capable of receiving radio and or television broadcast content from internet service providing platform owners shall pay the sum of 1,200 naira per annum and 2,400 naira per annum for private and commercial users respectively. The bill, however, generated heated debate during the public hearing, which was attended by civil society, television and radio owners in Kogi State. Gunmen have attacked Tegbe community in Basa local government area of Plateau State and killed several people. Report gathered that several houses belongings to the natives were also set ablaze by the gunmen, while several others sustained injuries during the attack, which occurred in the early hours of Friday. A spokesman for the Miango Youth Development Association, Nuhu Bitrus, confirmed the attack in Jos on Friday. According to Bitrus, search and rescue operations for the victims were still ongoing. He added that so far 10 persons who were shot dead by the gunmen had been evacuated to the mortuary. You're still watching MLC TV News. More stories to come after the break.
Mlc TV Online is here. For your timely and reliable news that reaches you fast with the breaking news, choose MLC TV. Get human interest stories right here on MLC TV with entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories, all featured on MLC TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on MLC TV. MLC TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State commissioned an ultra-modern new office complex of the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC), built by the federal government and fully furnished by the Kebbi State government. Elated Bagudu described the event as very important for the FRSC, Kebbi State, and indeed the nation. The Kebbi State governor further extolled the efforts of the corps in providing similar facilities across Nigeria, helping to make the nation's roads safer and secure. The chairman of the corps, BUHARI Bello, said the office complex was a 12th to be commissioned under his leadership of the board of the corps. Boboye Oyeyemi, FRSC Corps Marshal, also commended Governor Bagudu for the magnanimous donation of the land for the project, as well as fully equipping it. Boboye also disclosed that he would deploy a new patrol vehicle to the office next week, in addition to another one promised by Governor Bagudu. And now, on our foreign news. At least 52 people have been reported dead in Russia's worst mining disaster in a decade after a coal dust in the ventilation shaft was caught ablaze, engulfing the Siberian mine in a sporadic fire. Initially, nearly 11 workers were reported killed at the time when reports emerged about dozens of miners going missing by nightfall at a coal mine located in the city of Kemerovo in southwestern Siberia. The region stretches across roughly 3,500 kilometers and 2,200 miles east of the Moscow. An emergency official has now revealed to Russian news agency TASS that there are no survivors in the incident that happened at Lizvisyana mine, which is a part of SDS Holding, a private business owned by the Siberian Business Union. All workers appear to have suffocated inside the mine in the shocking incident. A methane explosion is being determined as the cause of the fire. It was first reported that around 285 people were stranded in the mine during the final hours of the fire outbreak. Of those, a majority managed to escape via the tunnel, but at least 50 others were injured. The Regional Investigative Committee said 3 people, including the director of the Lizvianaya mine and his deputy, were taken into custody for breach of safety rules, according to Moscow's press reports. The cause of death of those stranded was smoke inhalation. The UK will place 6 southern African countries back on its red list of travel restrictions after an apparent surge in case of a heavily mutated coronavirus variant caused alarm among global health officials. Travelers returning from South Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and Eswatini will be forced to quarantine for 10 days at a government facility from midday on Friday. Direct flights from the 6 countries will also be temporarily banned until dedicated arrivals terminals and hotels are ready to accommodate travelers. Sajid Javid, UK Health and Social Care Secretary, said the UK Health Security Agency was investigating a new variant. More data is needed, but they are taking precautions now. And in sport, Napoli striker Victor Osimhen is billed to be re-evaluated by doctors in the next 15 days after being discharged from the Rush Clinic on Thursday after a successful cheekbone surgery. The Nigerian international suffered facial fractures after a clash of heads with Inter defender Milan Skriniar in Napoli's 3-2 loss to the champions on Sunday, their first loss of the season. The doctor who operated on the 22-year-old disclosed that the player required 6 plaques and 18 screws to repair the devastating damage. The Serie A table toppers on the website confirmed that the player was discharged from the hospital early Thursday morning and will be closely monitored in his home before his next checkup appointment. Osimhen has been ruled out for 90 days, first ruling him out of the Africa Cup of Nations, but Napoli confirmed he has returned home. Ralph Rangnick is close to finalizing a deal to become Manchester United's interim manager as they seek a replacement for the sacked. Ralph Rangnick is close to finalizing a deal to become Manchester United interim manager as they seek a replacement for the sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The Premier League giants have identified the German, 63, who is currently head of sports and development at Russian club Lokomotiv Moscow, as a potential short-term successor to the Norwegian Michael Carrick, took charge of the side for Tuesday's Champions League win at Villarreal, which secured progress to the knockout stages, but the club want to bring in a more experienced figure until the end of the season. United are planning to make a permanent appointment at the end of the campaign, with Paris Saint-Germain boss Mauricio Pochettino strongly linked to the job. The Athletic reported that Rangnick had reached agreement with United to take over, saying the agreement was subject to Lokomotiv agreeing to release him from his contract. And now, over to Matthias Ayodeji Peter for entertainment news.
On entertainment news today, in the early hours of November 26, 2021, Nigerian star Rema took to his Twitter page to express his displeasure at the release of a DJ Neptune record. Around the same time, the star DJ and Empire frontliner has released a Summer 4 studio album titled Greatness 2.0. On it, a track titled For You features the Maven and Josin act. In a 5-tweet trend, Rema rant, "With all due respect, Chief, drop my old record without due process. I'm not happy at all. At DJ Neptune. Don't violate the code. Can't drop my song without my notice. Can't even remember the last time we spoke, bro. I pleaded with my manager behind the scenes where you all tagged me before it dropped. You all still went ahead. Come on now. The game, don't try it on my humility. There are some things I can't be talked out of, and number one is my act. If you are not okay with it, then it's war. John Jane go verse for me. Baba, forgive me, but this one no join. Lastly, take my work down. I'm fine on making new enemies after this, but God big pass industry. The game has slapped me too many times on the cheek. I dey quiet because I get people's interest to protect and a family to feed. I beg, I sabi mind my business, but make nobody vex me. Since Rema announced his debut album, Raves and Roses, he has been quiet. But over the past few weeks, he's been quite active on social media again with braggadocio on steroids. Some fans of social media are arguing that Rema might release a new single soon. Still on entertainment news, notorious for his flurry of memorable experience, outfit, emotions, and delectable live music, Maven's Records act, Johnny Drill, has announced plans for the 3rd edition of his signature live concert, Johnny's Room Live. 2 concerts in 2 cities, JRL version 3, will happen in Lagos on the 28th of November and Abuja on the 5th of December 2021. The Music Maverick has sung to over 10,000 fans since the inception of the event in 2018, and on the back of his debut album, Before We Fall Asleep, Johnny Drill plans to set up the Antel for this year's edition of the concert. His 14-track debut project features artists like Don Jazzy, Ira Star, Ladepo, Slide, Silso, Lagos Community Choir, and veteran group Star Plus. The Lagos edition will take place at the Muri Okunala Park on Victoria Island. This year's event will also feature Enter Johnny's Room, a unique opportunity for fans to take the center stage and show their singing talent to thousands of people. Merch with memorabilia will be available at the venue. Commenting on the concert, Johnny Drill said, "The plan is to make this year's show the most special one yet. Me and you will make history again. Invite some of your loved ones that you care about and experience this moment together. I can't wait to see you." The concert is sponsored by Paga, the leading payment and financial service company, Tom and Johnny Walker. And that is all on entertainment news today. My name is Matthias Ayodeji Peter. Back to our caster for more stories.
Thank you, Matthias, for the update. And that is today's news package. Do join us tomorrow via the same platform. For event coverage for news, sponsorship and advert placement, call the numbers displayed on your screen or visit any of our social media handles to drop your comment for us. Like our Facebook page, MLC TV, Instagram, MLC TV 2021. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, MERCILESS TV. I am Fatima Yakub. Thanks for staying with us.